What's up, people? Hello, and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to the Cup Chasers podcast. It's another weekend review coming up for you, and we've had a wonderful time in the Premier League. Lots of wonderful action this weekend, and I think there's only one place to start. Right there, it is. Arsenal have defeated Manchester United 3-1 at home in much the drama-filled pretty crazy game, this one. I had to watch it twice because the emotion of the first one had me, if you go back and watch my match reaction, I was pretty pumped. I was really, really excited. And then I heard a bunch of negativity about the Arsenal performance, which shocked me a bit. And so I went back and watched it, when I wasn't so jacked up, without the emotion. And I took a ton of notes, as you'll see here, a whole bunch to try and back up my point. And I'm not going to read every one of those notes to you because that we'd be here forever. But key points: we dominated this game, tactically outclassed, and were better and superior completely. Now, I've said on this channel many times, I think the way to win this league is the most important thing is a really strong press, just a relentless, smothering press. So if you get the press right, that's step one. We stop United from doing anything in possession. They can't break down anything. And so their 45% possession stat is very misleading. Onana with the ball accounts for about 20% of that.
Mm-hmm.
For about half their possession, it was at Onana's feet.
Yeah, they're getting real comfortable playing it back to him and allowing him to.
But what people don't realize while they're slagging off Kai Havertz is how important he was to blanketing Casemiro. They like to give the ball to Casemiro and let him start the build-up. He never saw the ball. He didn't see the ball. We were blanketing him. We were on top of him. And so it was, I think Kai Havertz was integral in that. And not a lot of people are shouting that out. And I definitely think they should. That press caused so many long balls. All the long balls. And I actually counted. Arsenal won so many second balls from Declan Rice in the midfield that I actually counted how many times United won a second ball. And I counted the aerial duels. Arsenal won every single aerial duel until the 75th minute. That's not an exaggeration. I counted every single one until Rasmus Højlund comes on. And then he presents a different kind of battle. And we have a bit more of a scrap with Gabriel. And so it was a bit something different. But he only won it 3 times.
Right.
3 aerial duels. Right. And they won 4 second balls in 104 minutes. And and on all 4 of those, and one of those was after it was 3-1. And so on the other 3, they had a little bit of possession. But we defended so well. Even against the counter, we defended so well. We gave Rashford too much space. That's it. He scores the one and he bamboozles Ben White on the. Give Rashford his credit.
Oh, yeah.
Near the end, on the goal line, Ben White's still spinning circles. But that's okay because Diogo Dalot is still sliding. He's still sliding. He ain't coming back. He's slid all the way back to Manchester when Gabby Jesus puts him down at the end of the game. So that I'm all right with that.
Yeah.
I mean, tactically, they were not able to do anything offensively because we forced them into long ball. And we won all the second balls. And so we controlled this game like we haven't controlled a game in a long time. Because I've said that possession does not equal dominance. but we never let them get any kind of rhythm going. Never let them get any kind of, good passing, possession-based game going. And when they did get the ball up the field, when, maybe the press broke down, or one time I will shout it out, it took them two like really good volleyed passes to get out the press, but they did. Unfortunately, it went to Anthony,
Right.
who's had just an
Bro,
absolute shocker.
when he slipped on the ball right outside the bro, I lost it. Lost it. He tried some fancy footwork and literally just ate it. And I
He's so
lost it.
bad.
He's like that's all he is somewhat of fancy footwork. Like other than that, it's his final ball is bad, his run is bad, his taking on defenders is if he gets any type of flustered, it's bad.
I just but he's not that bad as he was today, which is crazy. He was really bad. I remember one time he spun around in a circle twice
and
then gave the ball away.
Yeah.
Like,
right. Like
dude,
looking for space and didn't even utilize the space.
What are you doing?
I feel like this game really, and I hate to do this because I feel like we always give Maguire his shade, but I hate to do this to the Arsenal win here. When Martinez comes out, Martinez had himself a game. Defensively, he had himself a game. He was there to cut off the man. He was there to block the shots. When he took Martinez out for Maguire, I thought that was the moment Ten Hag.
That's not what happened. Martinez was injured because he went in for a disgustingly dirty cheat tackle and injured himself. Way to go.
Okay. Yeah, way
to go.
And that really broke down that defense. They had some big holes in there, which y'all didn't utilize and capitalized on late in this game. If Garnacho's goal isn't in offsides, which call it how you want, I think the PK should have been given. I think the offsides probably should have been given. So it's still 2-2.
Let's just agree that the officiating was awful.
Shambolic, for sure.
We'll run through the incidents really, really fast. Saka, you could argue, could have been sent off. But Lindelof leaves his feet and kicks Eddie Nketiah in the face.
In the face.
So that cancels that out.
The only reason
Garnacho might be onside, but Kai Havertz should have a penalty. So that cancels that out. Yeah.
Right. It baffles me because the only reason he's not sent off for dangerous play is because Nketiah bent down below the shoulder line. Like, he put his head down below the shoulder line, which then allowed it to be a yellow. Like, well, it's Old Trafford refs, right? Like,
they brought them.
They brought them with
them.
The Old Trafford refs with them.
Absolutely.
So it's, to me, they cancel each other out, the faults that happen in this game, and it's one of those days where, I think the better team won, but without those late goals, I think this catches so much more shade and downhill type of trajectory for you guys. Like, I'm glad you catch the late goal.
I don't.
You didn't go up ahead early.
I disagree with that.
A tie here? You think a draw here would have been?
It would hurt.
As much shade as y'all are catching for the game itself, I think a draw here would have.
But in my eyes, this was the best performance of the season. In my eyes, our performance level raised immensely, and it's all down to the comfort afforded by the formation.
Mm-hmm.
So Partey is, and that was a crazy saga. Whatever happened right before, a couple of days before the game on socials was just nuts. But Partey goes down, and so we naturally shift back to what we did last season. Kai Havertz for Xhaka, Rice for Partey. The rest was the same, bar Eddie in for Jesus. Eddie, I thought, he had one of those games where he was very important to the press, very important to the tactics, but you won't see him in the highlight reel.
Right.
At all.
Right.
I thought he was great, but you have to watch it with a tactical lens to see, the good things he was doing.
I would say the same. I mean, I would say kind of the same for Kai. It's just what really is killing Kai here are the baffling misses and the bottling of good chances. And it's going to overshadow everything good he does on the field. Those moments, he's going to get so hammered.
Not for Mikel Arteta, though. Not for Arteta though.
Right.
And I'll tell you what I did for Kai Havertz, because he was who I scrutinized the most, and I watched him scrutinize every single thing he did for 75 minutes. And I added I assigned points.
Yeah.
I assigned points to his I don't know if Lewis he'll pop up in a second, I guess. I assigned points to good things and bad things, right?
Yeah.
And so for the whiff in the box, it was -2. For the giveaway for Rashford's goal, it was -2. And those were the highest scores at once that I gave him, right? Others, like, for example, let's see, wins a second ball plus forces back the counter and forces them to pass backwards. So that was like worth a half a point, right? But then, there's a couple like he's lazy, or but then he blocks a shot, so that's -2.5 plus 0.25.
Yeah. It's
2.25. His score was plus 2.25, even with -4 on those bad mistakes. The very first play of the game, he puts Martinelli in. Just loops a ball over the top, and Martinelli goes in. And Martinelli, by the way,
he had himself a game.
The battle with Wan-Bissaka was amazing, fantastic. But just on Kai Havertz again, I think this was the game that convinced me to back off. Convinced me of all the give him time people, he needs a second to bed in, all the trust the process, all the, believe in Mikel. I do. And I see why Mikel likes him in there. And
I feel like anyone can do that job. Like, I really do.
Yeah, those things that I mentioned are not like superstar things. Definitely not. But when someone is wearing the Arsenal shirt, I'm not going to look for reasons to hate them.
True.
Yes, I'm going to call him out when he's bad, and because that miss in the 6-yard box was awful. What, you literally took a touch
and swings his
and
foot
then whiffed. It wasn't like it was coming at you 90 miles an hour, or it was a crazy a crazy cross or something, and you had to try for it one time and like contort. Nope. You took a touch and then whiffed it completely. Bro, that is just awful. And then here's what I'll say about the goal, the pass he gives away for the goal. We were pressing really high. We pressed them into the corner, like all the way into the corner, forced them to loop a ball over the top, and then that created a 50-50 that kind of squirted out to Kai in the air. And as a professional, he's made an absolute shocker of it, of course.
Right.
But we were pressed so high up the pitch that the one pass and Rashford's in.
Yeah. And you can't, and like you were talking about with the goal, you can't give Rashford that type of space
in
the box, or
it's just respect. You understand when somebody gives you that much respect, you get like a yard of space. And Ben White was giving him that respect all day. And I think that Arsenal's patience, a lot of people are citing, there was like a lack of intensity a little, at times. It looked kind of measured and we look, but I thought that it was very patient, and we knew that, like, the only thing I would say against Arteta was it took him too long to make subs. But I will say this, he did that because he knew what we were doing was working. Martinelli won 10 corners. Him alone.
Oh, you had a ton of corners.
Dude, we had 12. We had 12 corners. And I thought at first, when I first watched the game, the first time, I was like, man, we are awful on corners. We're not doing anything on corners. And, because last season we couldn't get the ball over the first man.
Right.
Which is it just makes you so mad.
That play they do where they bounce it off Odegaard, and then so they come with the short corner and bounce it off. And
we did it 4 times.
Yeah, dude, that is.
We did it 4 times this game.
That's that's probably your best bet into getting
But
offensive.
in those 12 corners, 3 of them were poor. The
Yep.
other 9 corners were like well worked, or there was a good ball into the box and a nice clearance.
Mhm.
And then we scored on the last one,
Yep.
and I mean, we'll get to Man United in a second. But I think
I feel like they really just like defensively, I think that they wanted to
they were
hold out
good.
for this game.
They were good
I just felt
defensively.
like
Dallo and Wan-Bissaka, their outside backs,
oh,
were fantastic. Were immense.
fantastic.
Were
I felt
immense.
like they shut off. Like I just felt like that offsides call gutted them mentally so
Oh yeah.
much. And it looked like a defensively different team. And y'all just again, sharks smell blood. That's what you're supposed to
Mhm.
do. And when they saw United take that step back because they thought they won the game. They thought they
Yeah.
won the game with that one. He thought
Bedlam in
he
the
won the
away
game.
end. Yeah, of course.
Yeah,
Of
and
course.
then to have that called back was just gutting for them, and then, like I said,
Mhm.
it really gave light to, again, what you were saying. What you were doing was working. It was a matter of,
Mhm.
can we plug this in the 90 minutes or, 101 minutes were allotted? And it worked,
Absolutely, man.
after they shut off like that, there was no question about it, especially after the second goal. They were done. They checked out completely after that.
Oh
Like,
yeah, it was just over. Yeah. When we scored again, yeah, they were so
oh,
flabbergasted.
oh yeah.
Um, I think
Ten
that
Hag went and you know what? Ten Hag had a worse day in the presser than United had on the field.
wow, dude.
Wow, dude. I'm surprised he's not gonna catch a fine.
That was some really reactionary stuff.
I think he's gonna catch a fine for that.
I mean, I know Jadon Sancho shouldn't have come out in the socials. That was kind of unprofessional to come out. I mean, but I get it when he's like personally attacking you and you're not even there. You weren't even in the team. Was he even in the stadium? And he's slagging him off in the press conference. Dude, that is,
Bro.
and you know what? I'm here for it.
Yeah, let him. Let
Man
him.
United are in the
Let him.
mud. They're the new Tottenham,
They're
and
the new
it's
Tottenham, man.
glorious.
Yeah, let him.
And not even because it's a dumpster fire, but also because of the negative approach. And
Bruno.
the Premier League, Man United fans, YouTubers, Ten Hag himself. I think even Man United, the players and the team itself. No one all of us. We need to just accept it. This is the new United. Ten
Yep.
Hag is not a possession-based coach.
Nope.
Maybe at Ajax, but we've seen him week in, week out, put out the Jose Mourinho sit and counter team time and time again. This is Ten Hag's Man United. It just is what it is. And as soon as we accept that and stop being baffled by it and start looking at it like, okay, well, if that's what you're going to try to do, it's worked in this league before
Right.
long ago. So fair to you. And for me, I love it. I love it. Man United are I mean, is it 2013 again? They finished the game with Johnny Evans and Harry Maguire
And Harry Maguire.
as their center backs.
Yep.
Did you hear what Ten Hag said when they asked him if Johnny Evans was at fault for the loss? And he goes, sure.
Sure. Tell you, man, he had a worse day in the presser than they did on the field.
Oh my goodness. Oh my. Yeah, it was definitely a drama-filled game. I thought that Arsenal were far better, and
I felt like y'all deserved
definitely.
this win. I really did. I felt like you
Oh yeah,
deserved the win. Scoreline probably represents the game. It just once you start looking at it, I think it should have been 3-1 a lot. I'm mad. I think the only thing that people are mad at is that it took you all 90 minutes to get there.
yeah. We should have scored 6 goals. We should have scored 5 goals and had the pin. So Saka, whom the only reason he's not getting absolutely ripped to shreds is
Playing.
because he's got credit in the bank.
Right. He's Star
But
Boy. Yeah.
he was not at his best. His standards are really high, and I did at first. I also thought that his game was really poor, but he's got a lot of good moments. He three different times he's come and made a tackle on Rashford, helping out his boy in the back, Ben White. He's had a couple. He's just when it doesn't come off,
Right.
that 2 or 3 times, that's what gets mentioned. Kai's getting wrecked because of
Roasted.
his 2 mistakes,
Right.
but I think that Odegaard had a captain's performance, really led the line well, took his goal superbly,
His goal was
glorious finish.
beautiful. He
Um,
one times it, but he took his time in setting himself, like, he knew the like,
oh, yeah.
you can tell. It's a
Oh,
striker's
yeah.
finish. It's a
It's
striker's shot outside
fantastic.
the box. Honestly,
Fantastic.
I know you're gonna hate this, but I was like, "That's a Lampard goal, 100%."
I mean,
Just
he's
coming in
he is Lampard-esque,
coming in
yeah.
from the midfield, camping right outside that 18, and then smashing one just the way he did. It was beautiful.
I mean, yeah, I can agree with that, for sure. He's wearing the number, so,
Yeah, right.
there you go. But,
And
all
then
in all, yeah, great win, for Arsenal. We definitely needed, that. I think that, for me, and I can't say this about the Arsenal fan base because I've found as I've watched more and more and more content that we are just a super reactionary bunch. And, I get it. I'm very emotional as well. So, I do, for my part, I'm calm going into the international break. That performance turned everything around for me. I'm comfortable with the formation. I would even not bat an eye if Havertz is in the next team, plays against Everton. Wouldn't bat an eye. I will say that our week coming out of the international break is an interesting one. It's Everton away, then it's PSV in our very first Champions League game at home on the Wednesday,
Yep.
and then it's Spurs at home at the weekend. So it's going to be an exciting one when Arsenal return to the Premier League. But another team in London who was at home struggled quite a bit more. Nottingham Forest at Stamford Bridge. What happened? Dude, this one was tough. I mean, it felt like last season again.
Yeah. It I want to have the same I don't. I want to have the same mindset Pochettino comes into this presser with and kind of comes out and says, it's one shot. It's one shot on goal. They had 2 shots on goal the whole game. But bro, we only had 3 shots on goal. We had 19, but only 3 of them on goal. So like the excuse there is, oh, it's a one-off. It's Nottingham, man. Like at the bridge, this should not. It goes back to what I kind of said in preface this season with when Caicedo finally comes in and we get these guys that we were buying for on the transfer window. Yeah, we got that is not $100 million. It's not a
Is
hundred
he
million dollar player.
nervous? Is he? I mean, what is it? Too much pressure? Is he feeling the pressure? Because
He had a like
I mean,
that.
he gives the game away.
Yeah.
It's
Again.
essentially because
Again.
y'all were unable to score. He's given the game away.
Again. Right. And this isn't the first like
The worst part about it is it literally right out the locker room.
yep. Right. It gave them yeah. Right.
And then they knew y'all weren't going to do
Oh
anything for
no.
the rest of the half.
Yeah. No.
They
Right.
knew that sucker punch. Y'all hadn't done anything in the first half, so
Nothing.
they're like, "Oh, now we've got a lead.
Oh yeah, we're
We're
gonna sit
good."
on this one. Yeah.
Yeah,
And it's fine time wasting all this. They're getting down on it. It doesn't matter with us. Like we cannot if we don't come out red hot and score goals and put pressure on, you're gonna see that Chelsea squad. You're gonna see that Chelsea squad. And you know what's funny to me? All these Chelsea, you want to talk about reactionary people and all these Chelsea fans? Guess what place we were in last year when all this stuff was going down and who they love to hate and they want to throw shade and everything. Thomas Tuchel had us in 6th with
yeah.
that squad. We spend hundreds of millions of dollars to bring in who Pochettino wants, who Todd Boehly wants, all of this.
Y'all
Guess
spent
what?
$1 billion, dude.
Right.
Todd Boehly has spent $1 billion.
You want to, and that's what I'm saying. If you want to buy players like this, then buy the right players. Go steal Jude in the transfer market. Don't let Real Madrid get him for 100. Bid 2, bid 3. He's worth 100. Don't let Rice go to Arsenal for 100. Bid 2, bid 3. I do not. And I'm a firm believer. I'll stand behind the badge. I'll stand behind these boys because they're our boys and they're going to be here for 8 years. And that's worries me. Caicedo, not worth $100 million. I don't care. I do not care. He's not worth $100 million today. He probably won't be in $100 million at the end of the season, maybe even at the end of next.
He had like 40 games.
This game proves
Total.
it's just you should not come into it. And if it's nerves, you're not worth $100 million. You're supposed to be our six. You're not supposed to be our defensive midfielding back spine that we're going to build this entire squad on.
Rice had 300. Well, he had 300 appearances already in the league. Like he's got 5 years or so, 6 years already in the league.
And that's right. He's proven. And this is what we said to Boyle before last year and even during the summer transfer window. Buy player. Why are you spending $100 million on Mudryk? Why are you spending $100 million on potential? On potential. You want to spend $100 million. I don't care if he's here for 2 seasons. Bring in Mitro. Bring in Tony for 6 months. Bring in Rice. Bring in these players who are proven in the Premier League. Don't.
He's totally sacrificed right now.
Right.
Instead of you could have gotten like 1, 2, maybe 3 guys with lots of experience, because I was listening to a podcast earlier today about this and about the fact that Thiago Silva is a straight legend, but he's playing with kids.
Yep.
He's got children around him.
Yep.
And okay, Enzo and Caicedo look nasty and they look like they're gonna grow into something really, really good. But right now, when y'all are losing to Nottingham Forest,
you know who,
and Chilwell is your captain playing left winger.
I agree,
but he's playing left winger though, so he's just completely out of the game. He's completely out of the game.
Offensively on that left-hand side, if Chile's not playing that high up, we don't have a left-hand side offensively. Now we're relying 100%.
Oh, come on. You could put Chile behind Mud Dog.
Can we?
What? I mean, you've got Cole Palmer now. Like, you could put Sterling over there and put Palmer on the right. There are options other than Ben Chilwell at left winger, because he was not one of the back three. He was the winger.
We played right, but we did and Thiago Silva actually roasted Chelsea fans online for this. We played a back. The system's set up to play 4. The system is set up to play 4. We're playing 4 at the back.
Oh, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
We are playing 4 at the back. What the issue is, and this is what I've kept saying it, and I hope to God they wake up one day. James in this squad, while I love Reece James, while I believe he should be the Chelsea captain, is plagued. And if you are going to build this back 4 off of Reece James coming on to that right, I understand Gusto's done a great job we look completely different without Reece James, and that baffles me. It baffles me how lost we get defensively without Reece James, because Reece James, like Trent, gets caught up a lot upfield. He's not back there defending a lot of times. He's not this right-hand brute like we had in Ivanovic.
Well, the system is designed to cover for that.
Right. And when he's not in the game, it shouldn't be. It should just be very easy to go, okay, yeah, we have another guy who's going to make forward runs. And because Gusto...
He's just so young. He's just not the same.
and Chilwell, and like I said, I said it last game, we took a L. I'll say it this game again. Without Chilwell up there giving that service, and I think that comes with the experience that we're talking about. Without him being up there on the left-hand side, we don't provide any offensive momentum on that left-hand side if Chile's not the one giving the ball in or making the run himself. Chilwell plays defense. He's not going to score goals.
Well, the only goals, I think I get it a little bit, because the only goals that Chile does score are when he gets round the back. And if you recall, one goal at the bridge, the goal in the Tottenham game before all the madness, he had the very first goal, remember? Yeah. The ball come across on a long diagonal, and the goalkeeper's made a right mess of it, and he's there because of how high his positioning is. And it's kind of the same this season, but I don't know. He just doesn't have the winger mentality. He doesn't think like you. He doesn't think like you do. He's
not Marcus Alonso. This is the issue when we got rid of Marcus Alonso last year, or the year before last now. He had that. He had both. He'd track back, but he's going to score goals. Chile can't. He's going to play the position. Chile understands the game. He has that in him.
He doesn't
I
have the
love that.
laser beam. He doesn't have the ice beam that Alonso had.
Right, no. And he's not going to be putting in goals like that. And you have to think Alonso came up big in some big games, which allowed us to be where we were.
I'd rather not think about it.
Right. So with Chilwell lacking that ability or he doesn't have that in the bag, it does make no sense to have him that far forward. I understand that. But to say Chile has bad games or to be like he's put on an island out there, because I don't think Mudryk can.
It wasn't a bad game. It was just like he wasn't in it.
Right. I don't like Enzo's. I don't know what's going on. I'm not going to say.
I think it's too much defensive responsibility.
I don't.
Which is wild because Caicedo should be mopping up, but he's not good, when he's struggling.
Agree. And then that makes Connor have the brute force of the workload. Connor has to take on all of the workload, which we've seen since the seasons began. You can hate Conor Gallagher all you want. You can talk your trash on Conor Gallagher all you want. No one is working on that field. It does not matter if we're losing, winning, have possession, losing possession, pressing. No one's working harder in that midfield than Conor Gallagher. And
that's fair.
Keeps us out of a lot of sticky situations. And yes, Connor gets caught up or Connor makes a bad pass. Connor's not technically sound. He is a workhorse, and he's employed to be that. The problem is Caicedo not mopping up and leaving those holes. Connor can't be two places at once. Enzo having to come back and fill that gap. And then sometimes him and Connor are literally standing side by side. So now we don't have the space to get the ball out. Now we're trapped in our own half with our playmaker set back in our third playing defense. And I don't want to blame Pochettino. I don't want to blame the system. I don't want to blame the setup. But honestly, here, I do think we lost the plot. We do not come out offensively enough. We do not make those forward runs. Raheem Sterling's just now getting to where he's honestly wanting to take on a man.
Sterling is the crazy one for me in this game, because he's had two great games. And then it's just same old Sterling again.
Same old Sterling. And
dribble out a guy and give the ball away. Beat one guy and then rip it into the stands.
I pray, and it's funny, right? Because you look at the system, you look at who we have on the bench, and we look at who is hurt. Disasi's not going to touch this field again once Badiashile or Fofana get hit. And that's going to fill a lot of. And I don't think Silva's going to touch the field a lot if Fofana and Badiashile are full as well.
Well, he's 39 or whatever, so at least you got to give him some rest at some point, sometime.
Right? He's going to be on he's going to have the electric wheelchair out here.
Yeah,
we have to play him all season. And I don't think Colwell plays, and this is the problem that we're having with Ben Chitwell and this left-hand side, right? And I think that's the cancer in this. We play one so dimensional. Everyone knows we're going down the right with Raheem Sterling. Mud Dog is all speed, no finesse, no touch. He doesn't have that finishing touch into his game, or that offensive, even when he gets the ball up there. We always joke about Hummy from Man City not crossing the ball.
Grealish.
Yeah.
Jackie G.
Mudryk has the same problem. Mudryk will not put in a decent cross.
Well, is that what y'all are trying to do? Are we trying to hit Nick Jackson? The problem is Nick Jackson got so isolated in this game.
Right.
Because like you said, Enzo was so deep. That the same space that has plagued you all last season. We talked about it all last season. So there's now a huge gap between the forward and the rest of the team.
Right.
And so I saw it a bunch. Jackson was coming back really far to try to get into the game.
Right.
And now you're all bunched up.
And
what do you do? Because are you trying to hit one down to Sterling on the wing now? But I don't know. It gets all mixed up.
And then we're playing this inverted, I wish I could draw it on a map for you. It's almost as if we're playing a 5-man midfield with Sterling kind of having a winger role and then Jackson playing a true 9, but there's no, especially in this one for the longest time, Enzo sat so far deep. So it was offset. It was we have a winger on the right, a main 9, no winger on the left because he's playing into the midfield.
Yeah.
And now we're so one-dimensional, and they just sat on it.
One-sided.
Especially once they got the goal. They just sat on it. And
it's the same thing they did when we played them last season, and we tried that that formation for the very first time, and we lost 1-0 to Forest. You remember? They just set the guy because we tried to overload the right side, and so they just sent a guy over there and they camped.
Yep.
Same as they did versus you guys.
And
just camped
honestly, that is a beautiful mirror. It's like, oh, they're gonna pull this on us, and we already know how to do this because we did it against Arsenal last season.
Yeah, we've seen this.
Right,
We've seen the overload on this side. You know,
and it's just not gonna work for us. And I think that's why Chile gets caught so far up, because it's like he's the only one with some experience that might be able to play that. Colwell, I'll say it again and again. I hate Colwell playing on that outside back position. I hate him playing. I hate him playing on the outside back position because that man gets lost, or he loses track. He loses track of whoever's coming down offensively. He gives so much space between him and who he's supposed to mark because he's playing on the outside. It's baffling to me how you can lose a man that often.
Well, these guys are quick. Anthony Alanga,
Awani is they're
quick. But I agree. You can't. My thing with Chelsea now is like, y'all are stuck with these guys.
Oh yeah.
It's like, make this work or bust.
Yep.
And
or sell them, or find some Saudi players, Saudi league to sell them.
I mean, but you've got them all on like 7-year contracts.
Yeah, we could sell them.
I guess.
They'll have to pay us a bunch of money for them. But.
Right. So we do need to discuss. For a moment there, I thought your boy was back in the number 9 shirt. I thought old Nicholas Romelu Jackson was rearing his head.
Bro,
Kai Havertz.
You want to talk about Kai Havertz?
Kai Havertz missed a sitter. This one was just as bad.
Worse.
Well, I think Kai's was worse because he had time to take a touch in the box and then whiffs it. But this one, you're in the 6.
All you have to do is put a foot on it. All you gotta score, man.
I love Matty Turner because he was an Arsenal and an American. But come on, man. He's not.
Y'all made him look good.
He's not awesome.
Y'all made him look good.
He's not great. He was, even saying that, he was a little shaky in this game too. So.
And it's funny because like I gave. So speaking of goalies, like honestly, I don't want to say, like, again, I love the badge, love the club. Don't want to see one of our players fail because it's why would you want to ride a sinking ship? Bro, I don't like Sanchez.
Oh, he's never getting to that though. Like, it's a good finish.
I know it is.
It's a good finish.
I know it is. But this is the problem I'm going to have with Sanchez. What is this? 3-3 now? 4-4? No, it's 5-5.
Yeah, y'all. Talking about goals he's given. Did he come in preseason?
No, he came in first game of the season. So it's 4-4.
So you only played 4 games, yeah.
This is the problem I'm going to have. If he cannot, we are notoriously a 1-goal team. If you cannot keep, and I don't care if I know it's not his fault. We can argue about the West Ham goal all day till I'm blue in the face. I'll die on that hill. Getting rid of Kepa, someone who in, day out, studied this team, loved this team, fought for this team, fought for his spot over and over again during the Mendy spell, came back, cheered his team on when he was sitting the bench, standing behind the goalkeeping line, telling his guys what to do when he's not even on the field. Getting rid of a player like that and a mentality from a goalkeeping position, that's the goalkeeper I want. I don't want Sanchez. He's quiet. He's timid. He doesn't look like he wants to come off his line. Like, it's the same. We traded someone who might have some holes in his game, but overstepped. Like, again, it's the same Conor Gallagher argument I'll make for Connor.
Who else is there? Like, who's your second? Is it still Slamina?
Now it's
No.
We just brought him in. It's the other we just bought him.
Oh, let me look. Yeah, let me look at this.
I should know this. It's
Bettinelli or Petrovic?
Petrovic
Petrovic is the new guy.
Yep. And it's just like, bro, I don't understand why we would get rid of someone like Kepa to bring in someone like Sanchez. If anything, they're interchangeable, and I would rather have Kepa.
Oh, no. Oh, my. He's from the MLS.
Yeah. Yeah,
The
it's bad.
fastest player in MLS history to record 5 penalty saves. All right. That is
It's
also
just
in the MLS.
right, right. That's like saying, "Oh, Enzo's 5 for 5," but they're all in the Compa League.
Yeah,
Like,
that's like talking about how Messi is the best, is killing it in
right.
the yeah.
So it
Come on,
to
people.
me, to me, it's just we lost the plot, and it, I
He's on a
don't.
7-year deal too. Good
Oh yeah.
grief.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's just I don't. We traded something that we again this proven versus unproven, and that's just where I'm at with this team. It's very unproven. I hope Posh can turn it around, but to sit up there and say it's a one-off, it's one goal. We had 19 shots, man. Like this game should have been 3-4. That goal shouldn't have mattered. It should not have mattered. We cannot finish. We still cannot finish. And that scares me. And I hope when Nkuku comes back, it changes. I don't think it will that much. Nkuku is just a little bit better and more forward-minded than Sterling.
I hope that someone there, you need a strikers coach, because there are some things that, the head coach maybe doesn't have. Like, you want somebody like Thierry Henry on the staff.
Right. They all
Somebody who can get, have a one-on-one with the forward and be like, hey, maybe try this run, and
Yeah.
maybe try, like, for example, you say, hey, a good move if you're not the fastest, you're not as fast as your defender, try the stop start, try this, try that, try to body him, give the, because Nick Jackson's so young.
Oh yeah. It's
He's so
23.
young. He's got potential. He looks good. But there's, there's things that come with experience, there's subtle things that you can learn that,
Yep.
I think y'all, and I don't know who it is. I'm sure you've got somebody there that's doing this role. But if I recall, Pochettino was a defender in his day, so his expertise is not necessarily with finishing.
Right.
And if you had like Didier Drogba back at the club teaching people how to net, you might be scoring a bit more.
He's scoring a bit more. And that's what I'm saying. Like defensive, we are defensively sound. We're not giving like the goals we give up are very we get broken on a counter. Obviously, we have Grandpa Father Time back here playing center back. People flamed him. People flamed him after this game, and I don't even think that goal is his fault. Like it's
not his fault,
right. It's not
at
Thiago's
all.
fault
It's
at all.
it's a good ball from Awoniyi.
Right.
It's an absolute shocking mistake from Caicedo. So
Right. Well, how are you not going to recover from that?
and
Right.
then it's 2 touches. It's literally 2 touches. It's a giveaway from Caicedo.
Yep.
And Awaniyi's first touch is the pass into Alenga, whose first touch is the goal. So it's happened just like that. You can't blame Silva.
No. And it's like, oh, you should have been able to cover it. And it's like, or you should know. It's like Caicedo shouldn't be given the ball up there. Like just point blank. Like shouldn't be given the ball up there.
Absolutely.
I feel bad for this team because they are young. I feel bad for the result here. We didn't need this. We didn't need this going in, like by any means necessary. Maybe it's a wake-up call for Pochettino. Hopefully that'll be the case.
Looking ahead's not great either.
Right. Our first five is where we should have set this tone. And now we're going into the next 5. It's bad news bears.
The next 3 for you are actually not so bad. But by the beginning of October to December 9th, it's horrifying.
Yeah.
I've looked at it. I looked at it earlier.
Yeah, it's Newcastle, City.
It's everyone. You start with us.
Yeah, Arsenal.
You start with us. Yeah, here we go.
Play Brighton in the cup.
Yep, you got Brighton in the cup. So your next game is Bournemouth away. That won't be easy.
Yeah.
Nice. Then you host Villa.
Yep.
That'll be fun. Away to Fulham and away to Burnley. Those ones you have to win, because after that, dude, Arsenal at the Bridge, Brentford at home, Brentford at the Bridge, Spurs away, City at home, Newcastle away.
Yep.
Oh God, Brighton at home. This is
Yep.
horrifying.
Oh yeah. And
United away, Everton away. Oh, that's gross.
and I
That's gross.
hope to God it's one of
That's
those
gross.
cases where we're gonna lose to these lower flight teams. So
You
when the
can't.
top flight team, I know. So, but when the top flight teams come, it's like, oh, these guys lost to Forest, and then we smash somebody. Like,
You hope, man.
I hope, man.
You hope.
It's just we can't lose these games. If we're vying for a top 4, top 5 this season, if we want to get back in it, we want to be back at the Chelsea standard. That's not how we're going to get there by any means necessary. These last couple, the West Ham game, shambles.
Some
This
shocking
Spurs game,
results because
shambles.
the first 2 games were decent. It was all right versus Liverpool.
It was a great game, versus. Yeah, right. We
It
played
was.
Liverpool straight up.
I guess what it really tells us, and don't hate me for this, but it really tells us that Luton are just terrible.
Yes. Yes. Yes.
Ooh.
Welcome to the league, boys.
If you let this team that couldn't hit the broadside of a barn in this game score 3 on you, it's long day.
Long day.
Long day for the Hatters, but
it's going to be a long season, man. if this is how we keep trying to progress forward into the offensive mindset.
You'll get better. You'll get better.
It looks like tactically we break down ever since Tuchel left. Again, hate me if you want. Ever since Tuchel left, it looks like as soon as we cross that half-field line tactically, we have no idea what we're doing. None. Frank likes to sit back and play defensive. Potter had no idea what he was doing, so he just wanted to play defense. I'll grind out a 0-0 as long as we get points. I don't care. Because we didn't get scored on a lot with either of those managers. All those losses come in a 1-0 or a 2-1 situation.
Yeah, but if you don't score, you ain't winning nothing.
Right, and as soon as we cross that half-field line, we put people on an island. Sterling's not going to make that run by himself. He's just not that player. Mudryk isn't going to finish that. He probably will get down there in time, but he's not going to finish it. And Jackson puts his head down. He can't put a 9 on an isolation because as long as he's not Harry Kane and can't pull magic out of, the side of his boot. Like, Jackson's just not that guy yet, and he needs help. And when he has help, we see what that looks like. We see the conversion. We see the goals putting in because he can dish it just as much as he can score. But no one's in that box making that happen for him tactically or support on that behind him. That midfield doesn't move up like we used to, and it's scary, man. It's scary to watch a game like this. I had moments in this game where I turned it off. I just turned the TV off.
I will confess I put on a YouTube channel. It's Matisse, the Chelsea fan from the Big Six. He was doing a live watch along, and when I put that on just to listen to him because of how bad it was, because I knew he was gonna, and he was sitting there like,
yeah. I turned it off at times.
I don't even want to watch this.
So disappointed. Right, I was so disappointed, and it's not even that. Like, call me what you want or have this opinion of Chelsea. I'm disgusted at where this club is. I'm disgusted at this game. I'm disgusted that we go into West Ham, who were in shambles last year. We spent everything we had built for. We spent all of it almost. We spent all the Champions League winnings we didn't get to spend. We spent all of the lockout money we didn't get to spend. Sure, we sold a lot of players, but look who we sold and look what we got. We got bent over a barrel if this is the results we have. And I don't care what you say.
It goes back to Bowley, man.
100%. 100%. And I will say this till I'm blue in the face. Man's a clown. He might be good business. Man's a clown when it comes to putting who we need in this club.
I know
That's why everyone left.
I know you've been preaching. You've been preaching it since day one, and it's kind of coming. It's kind of coming to the forefront now.
I cried when Roman said that's who he was still in the club to. Cried. I wanted it to go to those English blokes so bad. I cried when he said it was Todd Bowley.
Yeah, and that right there has been the issue, I do believe. But I think that Pochettino will be able to turn this up.
And put the pin back on if he keeps on.
I figured you'd like that. There. I figured you'd like that. No, but I think he'll get it. He'll get it going. He'll get the organization and everything sorted, and y'all will improve. I definitely don't think that you'll be as bad as last season. But Chelsea fans can only hope at this point. But,
nowhere else to go but up.
Yeah. So speaking of up, we'll go all the way up. Manchester City absolutely thrash Fulham.
Dominated. It was a good game.
First half was a good game.
Right. It was a great game.
The first half was good. And then, good grief, this
Lost the plot.
the goal, the second goal right before halftime changed this game completely. Fulham
Yeah, they
were
went into the locker room.
flabbergasted.
Yep. I think, all right.
I can only imagine what was going on in that locker room. There's probably things being thrown and
Because he's offsides.
oh, it's offsides. Yeah.
If I am a player, I am putting my knee through the glass or my head through the glass
I'm
thing
so
like
upset.
my boy did when he
Yeah,
scored
it's
a
gonna
goal.
be it's gonna be scenes like after Uruguay were knocked out of the World Cup.
Right. I'm so
Yeah.
upset because he's clearly in the vision. He clearly delays the dive.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's when you look at Bird and Leno, that's where you know, because Leno hesitates.
Yep.
You know, shout out my man. I used to be a Leno fan long ago.
Man,
Yeah, he clearly impedes goalkeeper, at least his vision. It's
he's in the path of the ball. I don't care if he moves away from it or not. If you're going to set that precedent, I'm putting the man in front of the goalie.
Yeah.
Every play,
just stand the guy right there.
Just move before the ball hits you. That's allowed now.
That's apparently.
Whole game, that's all I'm doing. I'm going to laser beam this into the goal, and my man's just going to dodge it like he's in the Matrix and let it go through.
You could tell that Leno would have got there.
Oh yeah,
he definitely would have got there. You can see from how he hesitates.
I was so upset for Fulham because it was a great game before that.
It was a good game
before that.
I mean, Fulham didn't do much, man. I will say that. Even in the first half, it was the low block. It was the we're scared of City. We don't want to get ripped apart, you know. But they didn't it wasn't like Leicester City was last season. You know, it wasn't like I imagined Forest will be. Like there were some moments where they were high press.
Mm-hmm.
There were some moments, and City in the first half were sloppy. There was some sloppiness in the first half, but
Tim
credit Fulham. Oh, I love Tim Ream. Yeah,
stepping up.
I love Tim Ream. I'm a fan. Credit Fulham for right after the first goal, win a corner, dump it right back on him.
Dump it right back. Yeah.
You know, and at that point, I'm like, yes,
it's a game,
let's
baby.
Go.
Let's go.
Because when I looked up, because I was watching the Chelsea game, and so when I looked up in the corner and it shows where the scores were, and it said City 1-0, I was like, yeah, why am I even looking up there? So don't just look away. Just look away. And then like 30 seconds later, it was 1-1. I was like, yes! I literally celebrate every goal against City like I've won the cup.
Yeah, because you might. Like, that might be it.
Oh, my God. But but man, that goal just, you know, Davor Suker, man, the famous Croatian who played on the 98 team, coincidentally is one of the only players to play for both Yugoslavia and Croatia. And he scored in the World Cup for both teams. Little sidebar there, but he in 1998 said that went on record saying the best time to score right before halftime because it's a dagger blow. It's an absolute blow to the heart, and now you get 15 minutes to go sit there and stew on it. And that's clearly what Fulham did because they never came back out.
No.
And dude, City, like, look, Arsenal can struggle. I mean, I don't think necessarily this is we'll say the Fulham game or the Palace game where Arsenal were not at the races, you know, and we struggled to get the result. City, not at the races, kind of having an off day, so to speak, you know, so they still got Ruben Diaz.
Yep.
Still got Rodri. And they still have Thor.
Yeah, I was going to say, still have Erling Haaland.
I thought that, okay, this may be, you know, people are going to say, oh, well, duh, it's a low-hanging fruit or whatever. Erling Haaland was fantastic in this game. He was immense. And not just the goals. Like, you know what came to my head? You know what came to my mind? I was like, this man is inevitable. That's the word to describe him. He's inevitable because you know he's going to score at least one. First of all, that's the first point. Like,
yep.
if you're looking at any Manchester City game, I know if you look at the season as a whole and you're like, oh, well, he's going to score in every game. That may be a stretch. But when you come week to week and we're making our predictions and someone's like, who's your money on to score? Instantly, literally everyone, Haaland. You'd bet the house my man is going to score today, no matter who the opponent is, you know, and he plays like that, you know. And so, I mean, his working back for the ball was fantastic. He got the assist on Julian Alvarez's first goal. You know, I know everyone spent all last season, but he's getting better.
Right.
And that's why I'm like, he's inevitable, because not only is he just a robot, but he's also like doing more and more and more and more. He doesn't care if you want to, you know, wrestle with him. If you want to have a WWE match right there on the field, he don't mind. If you want to give him space and let him run around, he don't mind. You know, whatever you want, whatever you need from him, and you just got to give it to Pep, man. Pep just, no matter what's going on, he's got that team drilled to where they're like, oh, well, we got this. You know?
He's a better version of what Ibrahimovic was. Like prime Ibra. Haaland's just a better version of that.
Let's give him time. Let's give him time. You know, Ibrahimovic, I have immense respect for Ibrahimovic. He's an absolute monster, man.
I do too, but Ibra's not winning Player of the Year at 22 and hit a treble at 22.
Well, they're different. They're different players, I feel like. You know, Ibra, he was like the one-man show. You know, he was like he could fit into the team, but he wanted to be the guy.
Yeah, that's true.
Haaland is the dude. You kind of feel like his stats get padded a little bit. He's just the dude that's always on the end of it, and because he's got Man City behind him, putting the, you know, I was listening to another show, and they were comparing Nick Jackson to Nunez. And how like
you want to spend $100 million buying? I'm done.
It took time. Well, it took time for Nunez to kind of, you know, get going or whatever, you know.
He couldn't even talk to Klopp. He didn't understand what he was saying. So like,
right. You know, and so with totally lost my train of thought.
With Thor or Ibra?
With Thor, yeah. With Thor, it's like he's gonna score every time. You know, he's just really every time. But Nunez missed a ton of chances, right? Tons of chances last season because Liverpool created a ton of chances.
Yep.
Nick Jackson, but has to be way more clinical and way more lethal because Chelsea ain't creating anywhere near.
You get 3 or 4 of those a game.
Yeah.
A game.
And so my point is that Haaland is scoring so many times that even when he's having an off day, he gets 97 chances.
He's got both. He's got the chances and the clinical lethality. Yep.
So, you know, and I'm not saying Nick Jackson can't reach those heights, you know, because whatever, you know, the sky's the limit. And apparently Pochettino thinks he can. Pochettino thinks he can.
He can beat.
Hey, you got to have the backing of your coach. You know, just ask Jordan Sancho.
Yes.
Jadon Sancho.
I'm gonna get in play.
Yeah, but I think Haaland is going to be even. He already is even scarier this season. I think Fulham did not manage to make it back out of the locker room.
No, like you said, I think things were getting thrown. I don't even think they said anything like productive. I think they were literally just went in there and cursed each other out and walked back out.
Yeah, probably. There's a shouting match where nobody understood a word, and then everyone for 15 straight minutes, and then everybody came back. Literally, everyone was shouting at everyone else the whole time.
They're all watching it on the monitor in the locker room. They're like,
they come back out and give a goal 3 minutes later, and it's done, gone, and it's gone.
Here's the game.
Yeah. Well, there you have it. Man City, perfect so far this season, just destroying the league like we knew they would. A lot of people already think that they're just going to run away. just gonna run away with it. Gonna walk. I hope that they're wrong. I hope that Arsenal can catch them up. But we'll look at another team that is kind of putting in the bid for title contenders. Liverpool, man, are looking really, really strong.
Now that everybody's healthy, man, it's bad.
That Villa team is no joke, and Liverpool made them look like, I mean, just like nothing. Like they couldn't get anything going, and I was so surprised. I did not expect. I expected Liverpool to score and be as lethal as they were. I did not expect them to be as sound defensively.
Was it
especially without Van Dijk? Joe Gomez, I didn't even know he could have that good of a game.
Big game.
You know?
Do you think it was the slap to Villa right at the beginning that really kind of put them on their heels? Like, oh, we're down to Liverpool already at Anfield.
At Anfield, yeah, you can't do that. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I can see where they were a bit shell shocked.
Just came out the gate and just got punched.
Yeah, Mo Salah was.
Yo, he's worth,
dude. 200 and I heard today that Al Ittihad put in a $220 million bid.
And Klopp's right, man. Klopp's right to deny it, for the club not to stand up for the money. But I agree.
No, this is a new one. I don't know if they've denied it yet. I don't know if they've denied it yet. This is a new one.
Oh no!
This isn't
one he said no to.
This isn't. No, that was 130. This is 230.
You can
200. It's nearly half a bit. It's nearly $250 million.
I don't care who you are. You're gone. Don't care. You're gone. Bye. I love you. Pack your bags. You're gone.
What?
Liverpool haven't spent that in the last 6 transfer windows. Like,
that's insane. That is insane.
And he's Liverpool through and through. He's like he's starboard. He's their Saka.
They can't sell him.
They can't sell him.
I understand if they do. I understand if they do.
Of that squad, man.
And he's already leading the Renaissance this season.
Yep.
He's been immense for them this season. You know, but I think for me, man of the match and man of Liverpool's season so far, this Szoboszlai dude is. He's killing it, man. People already comparing him to Lampard, comparing him to Gerrard. And I'm saying, you know, calma, we're 4 games in.
4 games in.
Just calm down, you know. Talking about he's the Hungarian Lampard or whatever. All right, guys. I enjoy it. I'm here for it. I'm here for people, you know, bigging up their players. You know, Gabby Jesus is the greatest thing that's ever walked the earth, you know, so. Yeah, dude, he's so good. That goal, dude, you want to talk about a laser beam?
Baby.
Dragonite hyper beam right there, dude.
Beam.
Wow, what a goal. And I heard that's his weak foot.
Oh, no.
Not even his strong foot.
I'm that way with my left. You just swing it as hard as you can and hope it hits that base.
That 1 in 30 shots that you get the connection on, and it's laser beam. And everyone's like, X, I didn't know you had that in the locker, bro. Wow. Bro. Where's that week in and week out? Nope, that's a today thing.
That's a today thing.
That's a just today thing.
That's a just now thing. I've never even.
That's why Szoboszlai is in the Premier League and you're on the Sunday team.
Right, exactly. I think Mac Allister adds so much to this squad that I didn't want there to be, because they already have such an attacking prowess here.
I'm surprised at his role in the team.
Yeah.
But he's doing so well.
Yep. He's my assist. Like, if I take KDB off, he's my assist for the season. Like, I think Mac Allister has an incredible opportunity in front of him at this level.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. It's, I mean, I still think Trent Alexander-Arnold's got a shot for man of the match as well. True captain's performance.
Yep.
I'm not his biggest fan.
No, I hate Trent.
To be honest with you, but
James, baby.
He was immense. He was immense in this game. I think he went off injured too. I don't think it's serious, but I think he had some kind of thigh thing or whatever. But I was really surprised that, and it wasn't that Villa were like super bad, like poor. just shut down.
Yep.
Just absolutely shut down. And
And
I
it's
don't like
funny to
it.
see too. And it was funny to see with this Villa squad, right? Because I thought Ollie Watkins and Diaby were going to be able to get in behind this defense a lot. I thought that the speed that they possess up front and those breaking runs that they have, and Liverpool literally just didn't look worried about, and they didn't really put that on Liverpool.
They broke it up. They broke it up before they could get the ball to like McGinn and Buendia and they didn't let Douglas Luiz get those balls down the wings. It was just they blanketed them. It was I don't like it, man. I don't
Me
like
neither.
Liverpool being good again. I'm not a
Me
fan.
neither. I wish we were there. Yeah, me neither.
I'm not a fan of this, but Liverpool resurgence and my third place pick in the predictions. Because Liverpool could challenge. That's what they're looking like for me.
Oh, yeah.
At this moment in time, I'm gonna say that they could
They
be
want
up there.
their champ spot back. They want that back.
Yeah, I think if they had a mind, they could destroy the Europa League.
Oh, they're gonna be gunning. I
They're
feel
in
bad
Europa
for the
League.
Europa League. Right. I feel bad for them.
And they didn't get their group is decent. The group that Brighton got.
Sorry, bud.
Brighton and Newcastle. Welcome to Europe.
Welcome to Europe.
That's all I'm saying.
It goes like that sometimes, man.
Brighton got Ajax and Marseille.
Yep.
Somehow Brighton got a Champions League group and Arsenal got a Europa League group. Yes.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
That's crazy. But but speaking of Brighton, fantastic performance against Newcastle. At home, took advantage of the lackluster Newcastle, which they're baffling me right now. But Evan Ferguson, dude, this 18-year-old up top for Brighton, I don't know how they do it, man. They literally sell all of their good players, McAllister, Caicedo. I would say Cucurella, but he hasn't been good since he was there. But still, when he was there, that's why they were able to rob y'all blind.
Yep.
But
again,
they just bring in the next guy, and he rips it up. 18-year-old gets the hat trick, and these were well taken goals too. It wasn't like he's gotten some deflections in a tap in. These kids got some potential. Kids definitely got some potential, and De Zerbi's got them playing some fun stuff.
Right. They're fun to watch, man. Like, that's what I hate. I hate about this Brighton squad because as much bad blood as there's being tossed in between Chelsea and Brighton right now, they're fun to watch, dude. Their games are fun to watch. Matoma flying down the wing, like you said, 18-year-old doing it big for the club. I love their left back, right back, Estupiñán,
yeah, he's so good. That's who replaced Cucurella, like I was saying. Guy has a fantastic season, and they bring in some random, and he's a killer.
Should have bought him instead. Like,
right?
Bro.
That's what you need to do. Go to Brighton and be like, yo, we're going to buy Estupiñán. And then on the low, you need to, stalk their scouts.
Buy their scouts. Just buy their scouts at this point.
See who they're scouting to replace this Estupiñán, and they'd be like, nah, and go after that guy instead.
Yep.
Todd Bowley is really on one if he starts doing that, because he's playing Football Manager at the moment anyway. And if he starts trying to mix it up with the Brighton scouts, I don't know if he's gonna. I don't know if he's gonna be able to handle that. They got too much smoke for him. But Brighton only had 55% possession in this game. Newcastle away from home, man. It's surprising, is what it is. It's not as intense.
They really feed off that.
What's crazy is this game would lend itself to that, though. Mm-hmm. Those high energy rock and roll kind of spells of the game. That's how De Zerbi wants to play.
Right.
But Newcastle away from home, just like they tried to do against City, And just like they tried to do, successfully did at Arsenal last season, is like they're just trying to slow the game down. They want to kick you as hard as possible at every turn. The same kind of thing United tried to do against us as far as keeping the game, but that's not what Brighton do, man.
No.
That's not Brighton. If you let Brighton dictate the game, it's going to be fast. It's going to be quick. You're going to be tired by the end of the game.
Yep.
And I just think Newcastle let them play their game and got rocked.
Right. And yeah, it's just for me, the midfield, just like you said, really just got out.
Where's Guimaraes?
Right.
He hasn't shown up this season.
Nope.
Except since the opening day, they've been missing.
I think it's funny because it's like I think he wants Joelinton and Tonali to play his position so he can be elsewhere, but it doesn't work. I don't know. I don't know.
Yeah. I will say though, the script writers and the people making the schedule, they got one that they hate Newcastle. They hate Newcastle. Think about this: home to Villa to start the season, and then away to Man City was the next game. Home to Liverpool was the next game. Away to Brighton.
Yep.
And then you got their Champions League group.
Talk about you're not supposed to be up here with the big boys.
Dude, they're going to the San Siro.
Yep.
They play AC Milan in Italy next week or in 3 weeks.
Resurgent AC Milan.
2 weeks from Wednesday. Yeah. Oh yeah, dude. It's half an old Chelsea squad. Because RLC, Christian Pulisic,
RLC's dumping in hat tricks. Pulisic's dumping.
All three of them are in the starting lineup.
Oh yeah. And they're dumping goals. They're just
Pulisic, man. Goals. Pulisic resurgent at AC Milan. You love to see Captain America in the red and black of the Rossoneri getting it. There you go.
Killing it.
But yeah, Brighton looking really strong. Newcastle already 2 losses.
I did expect way more defensively from Newcastle in this game. I didn't think this was going to get out of hand like that. Right, 3 losses.
Newcastle have lost 3 times already. Mm-hmm. It took them till March last year to do that. Wow.
Is it people have figured them out? Because they are playing around about the same. They haven't changed much.
I mean, I think that they've just they've gone away from being balls to the wall every game.
Yeah. Is it their schedule they're worried about? Or are they worried?
I think so. I think they might have that in the back of their mind. They did improve the squad. Harvey Barnes has come in, Tonali's come in, so they have decent depth. The problem is one of their center backs is injured right now, and Dan Burn is playing center back. It's rough. He struggled. He definitely struggled in there. So they need to get him back out to the left quick.
Yeah.
Even though I don't think that he manages to be good, but he's so slow.
Murder Stacker, baby.
Yeah, Tree Trunk. Murder Stacker. Nice shout out. I love that. Yeah, definitely a similar kind of player, but hopefully he doesn't twist himself around in a pretzel and break his own knee without being touched by anybody at any point in his career. But no, I can't hate on old Tree Trunk. I was a Murder Stacker fan for sure. There you go, Brighton. Killing it. Definitely. Let's see. Another team who is killing it that I just am really sad to see. Spurs have smashed Burnley at Turf Moor. And it hurt my heart to see Youngman's son doesn't score for however long last season, comes in, first goal that he gets, turns it into 3.
Yep.
Doesn't score in the first 4 games of this season, or I think he's got 1, but he's kind of been lackluster.
Yep.
Comes in his first real good game of the season and scores another hat trick. I hope that this is not the beginning of a real tear for Heung-min Son because he's
got the band. He's got everything going for him.
When he wants to be,
him.
he can be. He can be a beast, and he's got that midfield behind him. Madison and Basuma, and right now it's Sarr who started this game versus Burnley. They're cooking, man. I think we play them. We play them not next in the league, but the next game at home. And last season, I was like, yeah, we got Spurs at home, no problem. This season, we should handle them, but they're going to give us something way different. That game should be fun, man, because Spurs are open. They like to play quick. They like to press from the front. They like to move the ball through the midfield quickly. We just got to, kick Madison really hard.
Moving Son from the outside to the middle and sitting Richarlison, I think was probably the best tactical move that Spurs, if they continue doing that moving forward, that 2 CDM, 3 center mid, sometimes they play out wide. Bro, like I said, it's to move Son into the middle and to kind of make him your pivot man. They're just trying to replace.
They're playing good stuff, man.
Right. And it worked, man. Son looked, like you said, Son has the touch. Son has the goals. If I read it correctly, Son has like more goals than
He's got a lot of goals.
More Prem goals than DDA and somebody else.
He's got a lot of goals.
It's a lot of goals. They looked good, and and I'll say it again. I don't think Burnley are going to last long in this league, man.
I'm starting to think the same, and it feels bad, It feels really bad because I like Vincent Kompany. I like how brave they are.
It's just too old for this league. Like, you can't play. Like, I feel like they're playing above their.
Dude, you're right. Heung-min Son has more goals in the Premier League than Didier Drogba and Cristiano Ronaldo.
Cristiano Ronaldo was the other one. Yeah. I was floored when I read that.
Yes, he does. And he was tied with Ronaldo until this hat trick. Yeah. Yep. I mean, and he's on the back of and he's coming up on some names. Paul Scholes, Peter Crouch, Ryan Giggs, Emil Heskey. These are the names right in front of him. So he's on it.
And he's playing in the shadow of Kane this entire time. Like, that's him in the shadows.
Well, it's his time to shine, and he's certainly doing it. Got to mention Doggy as well. This guy, out of nowhere, you'd think he was in a Brighton shirt because he's just come out of nowhere and been amazing. He's had a good few games. He's doing good, and it baffles me. I mean, I'm not like worried or mad about it, but it baffles me that they didn't go for the cup. They made 9 changes to that team and lost because they couldn't because their second stringers couldn't do the same stuff.
Right.
And so they, but hey, in this one, they're playing some good stuff and I don't like it.
I don't like it either.
I don't like it at all. They look like a lot more comfortable. They've definitely switched from that negativity, from that, hey, let's give 2 goals and try to come back for a more dramatic victory. They've stopped doing that like they did last season.
Crazy to me because that's not Antonio Conte's style. Like,
yeah, I don't know what they were doing last season. It was you have to build a team around Kane, and now that they're not doing that, it's more of a team game, and they look.
Was the motive like, oh, we have to keep Kane, so do whatever it takes to keep him? Like, that's what they told Conte, and he was like, yo, I got my hands tied here, I can't do anything. Like, that's just not his style of play.
In the way they played, yeah, they had to build it around him.
Right, man won the league with us by playing outside the box. Like, he did not play. He played counter tactics.
Did y'all have like a superstar in that team? Was that the Hazard year?
Well, that's the Hazard's last year. Yeah.
Well, but that wasn't his year.
That wasn't his year, though. No.
Right. So that was a team championship. That wasn't. Yeah.
Right.
Y'all spread the goals around in that one.
Yep.
But yeah, Spurs looking good. Burnley were brave, but I think you're right, man. They're in trouble.
They're gonna struggle to stay in this league if they keep playing like this.
I get it, Kompany, but There has to be some. The problem. There's just the technique, the technical ability as a whole, as a unit, is like just not. It's almost not there, and they're playing tactically like a team who's got it. And so in the championship, you can afford 1, 2, 3 mistakes a game, maybe, and you might not. You maybe get punished once.
Right.
In the Premier League, you make 2, 3, 4 mistakes a game, you lose 5-2. You give 5 goals. So you have to be so technically sound all the time. And when, your mistake riddle, your team has mistakes in it, you're just going to give goals in this league. And Burnley are dead last, man.
I mean, yeah, they're giving. I mean, that's what I'm saying.
They're giving up all the goals.
Leaking goals, man. Leaking goals every game.
It's the transition. They're getting ripped apart in transition, and it's
wrecked.
He's gonna have to figure. Company's gonna have to figure something out. And I really hope he does. Let's see, another exciting game down in London, the south of London, Selhurst Park. Crystal Palace 3-2 over the wandering Wolverhampton Wolves.
I watched some of this one, yeah.
This was a very interesting game.
I remember. Sorry, keep going.
Yeah, it was a tale of 2 halves for sure.
Yep.
Because it was 0-0 at halftime.
I remember I turned off this game and I flipped it to something else. I turned it back on. It was 2-1, 3-1. I was like,
it exploded.
Yeah. What happened here? I had to reverse the stream. I had to go back and rewind the game to catch it up.
I feel this is another one. Like, I feel bad for Gary O'Neill because Wolves are another team that are like almost there.
Yep.
Almost. You're almost, and I feel good. And it's good for Cunha. He got a goal. He got on the score sheet, which is good for him because he's been missing a lot of chances this season. But he's been really, really good otherwise. And his goal didn't mean anything. It was the 96th minute. But still, that's a positive for him. Wolves were not bad in this game. They were not bad at all in this game. The same way they weren't bad against United, same way they weren't that bad against Brighton.
No.
But got smashed.
Yep. Like you said, I think they just lack just enough quality to not be to actually have to kind of fight for a relegation spot.
Oh, they'll fight. They'll be in a fight.
Honestly, their biggest win of this season might be the 1-0 over Everton. Like, that might keep them up.
It's a massive win.
That might keep them up.
They needed this though. Palace is another team that they needed to beat. I know it's away from home, so it's going to be tough. And Selhurst Park, as we know, is not an easy place to go to. But Eze, man, Eberici Eze
he won't be at Palace for long.
So good. City should have got him instead of Nunez, I think. City should have got him instead of the dude from Wolves for sure. He's killing it, man. And when Elise gets healthy again, it's another situation where they had to account for Wilf Zaha being in the team for so long.
Yep.
Now he's gone, and Eze's like, "It's my time.
I got it.
It's my time.
Yeah.
Have some of that." He's so good, man. It's another one you enjoy watching. You just enjoy watching.
Right. Yeah. Dangerous.
And I know you've got your eye on him because he's in the England team. So you definitely got an eye on his career.
Yes, sir.
For sure. And we called him out last season.
Right.
As he had a number of really good performances last season as well. So definitely looking good. Roy's got him cooking. Selhurst Park's a tough place to go.
Playing Roy
I
ball,
feel
baby.
bad. I just feel bad for Wolves again, man, because they're just almost there.
Yeah,
they're almost there. And if they get relegated, I'm gonna be so mad because I picked them, but then I changed my pick, so I'm gonna be so mad. I changed it to Everton, so I'm gonna be so upset if they get relegated after all that. But I think on the whole, this game was a lot of fun. Really tight in the first half. They kind of were trading blows, kind of figuring each other out, and then in the second half, it kind of broke down a bit. And there was some defensive leaks. Game got open and some goals went in. I really enjoyed it. And Crystal Palace run out with 3 points. Speaking of a home performance, Luton Hatters hosted West Ham. First game at McKinney, I believe they've been calling it. Kenilworth Road.
Kenilworth Road, yeah.
Versus Flying High West Hammers.
Bubbles, baby.
Bubbles, yeah.
Oh man.
Luton are another one who's they're gonna struggle. Good to see them get their first goal at home in the Premier League.
They're gonna struggle.
But they're gonna struggle, man. I like what they're trying to do. They leave 2 guys up top, and both of these dudes are huge. And so they're gonna win a lot of aerial duels, but they just didn't win enough of the second balls today, man.
I feel bad for Chong.
If that's how you're gonna play, you have to win. And it's on him. That's who it's on. Is Ross Barkley.
It's Barkley, right? I feel bad for Barkley.
He's got to win the second balls, man. And I'm not going to lie. Ross Barkley, the game he's had in this one is exactly why you play at Luton now, bro. Sorry about you. I don't have anything against him, but,
I don't hate him. No.
He struggled at Chelsea, struggled at Everton. I thought he was better at Everton than at Chelsea, but he struggled. And in this game, he's just doing the same stuff, kind of wasteful. Yep. Gave the ball away a couple of times, hit the Liverpool fan in Rosette, at one point. So it's
he was trying to launch into somebody's backyard is what he was trying to do.
Right. I think that Luton fancied it because they knew how West Ham were going to approach the game. You can have the ball and we'll sit off a little bit. West Ham, man, that counter. I don't know. I don't know if it's because Paqueta has upped his game. I don't know if it's because Antonio is playing really well this season. Dude, Jared Bowen, man. Jared Bowen, bro.
He's the unsung hero of that team.
He's on it, dude.
So far this season, Bowen by far is killing it.
Killing it.
And that's why West Ham is where they are.
They just got Mohamed Kudus too, man. They're gonna do something. They're gonna do something this season.
They'll be better this season than they were in the league than they were last season.
Oh, for sure.
100%. I thought they were gonna be worse. I really did.
Oh, I definitely thought they'd be worse this season. But then they sold the Rice money. They spent it well. They've bought 4 guys since selling Rice. So that's good. You want to talk about unsung, and now the rest of the league are kicking themselves. Chelsea especially kicking themselves right in the face. James Ward-Prowse comes into this West Ham team killing the game.
I said it. I know I said it.
Killing the game. I mean, he could have gone to most clubs. He would find a place in most teams. I don't think he would probably start in a lot of teams. Mm-hmm. He's not starting at Arsenal. He's not starting at City. He would he would get a look at Chelsea. He would get a shout for starting at Chelsea.
I think he would displace Gallagher. I really do.
Yeah, probably not at Liverpool. Maybe not at Newcastle, but he'd get time at Brighton. He'd play at Brentford. He'd definitely play for Fulham, Wolves. Obviously West Ham, Palace. Dude, why did he end up at West Ham?
Because I think everyone had it in the back of their mind that he's a one-trick pony.
But he's proven that wrong.
Yeah, I know.
He's playing so well in this team.
I know.
Like he's been there for 2 years already, 3 years already.
Because they implemented him as a one-trick pony. I think that's all people got to look at for that season. And
Southampton.
Yeah, right. Yeah, and now that West Ham are utilizing him beyond that, everyone, like you said, they're kicking themselves.
Yeah, and West Ham were already a huge team, and so you add that just deadly free kick accuracy, bro.
Yep. Yeah, they're big. West Ham's big.
They're huge.
That's why we
It's
struggled.
huge.
That's why we
Kurzuma,
struggled.
Agard back there, man. They're
Yep.
gigantic.
Yep.
And in the end, West Ham never really looked. They looked pretty comfortable in this one.
Right.
Yeah, the atmosphere was good, and
It was good to see. Right. I thought it might have
good
been
to see.
I thought it might have been a little like timid. Is the
Odd.
word I'm looking
Yes.
for. Odd. Yeah. No, they were on it. They were
it
here.
Yeah, but good result. I feel Luton's another team that I want to do really good, so I feel bad because
they weren't that scared. Like I like the
yeah.
They didn't
All
play
of the
scared.
newly promoted teams are kind of are brave. They've got some bravery.
Take 16. I mean, like you said, the West Ham is just going to sit anyway. So you could take shots on West Ham.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, let me look this stats up because West Ham had 13% versus Brighton. Okay, so they had 60% possession in this game. So that was a little bit more. But they were still able to get the job done.
Yep.
Yeah. Speaking of newly promoted teams, the next game that was on television at 7:30 on Saturday morning, Sheffield United hosted Everton in what I thought was going to be the I should have slept in game.
Yeah.
Dude, 2-2.
That looked like it popped off. I didn't watch this one. I didn't want to. I thought it was.
Yeah,
You said
I understand.
I hit the snooze button on this one. Yeah, for sure.
Man, this game, I was shocked.
No.
Dude, Jordan Pickford. Like, I love Aaron Ramsdale, but there's a reason Pickford's England's number one.
Yeah. I mean, he should have left Everton. We should have bought Pickford.
Chelsea should have scooped him so hard.
Anyway.
Yeah, you definitely should have gone for him.
You want $100 million? Here's $100 million for Jordan Pickford. That's what I would have done. That's what I would have done.
Yeah. He was really good in this game.
Yes.
He was really good in this game. Ollie McBurney for Sheffield is going to be so big for them.
Yeah.
Huge.
That's the one where you said
well, he's a huge dude, and he's really, really good at winning the aerial duels, really good at the physical side of the game, really good at the hold-up play. You know, he's like pure, straight-up target man. You know, he's not fast. He's got a cannon. He's an absolute laser beam of a shot. But he's not gonna dribble four guys and tuck one. You know, but he's gonna win every header, and he's gonna body the defenders, bully the defenders. And I think that there was a bit of that in this game. I think he's going to be hugely important if they're going to survive this season. I don't think they will. I mean, but I don't know, man. If Burnley can't manage to plug the gaps, to plug the holes, because Sheffield have defended better than Burnley have so far this season.
For me, it's definitely Luton and Burnley. For sure. Like, those are my bottom two for sure. This third one, that's the hardest one for me. It's either Sheffield.
It's Everton.
Might be Wolves. Might be Everton.
It's Everton,
It's
man.
Everton. They won't let Everton go down, man. They won't let it happen.
Yeah, well, the script writers, yeah.
Who do they play last day in the league? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Who do they play last
probably
day
Liverpool. Yeah. I think that Everton are going to struggle. And I was thinking to myself earlier today that I am not sure Mr. Deitch is going to make it.
Really?
All the way through this season. You know, it's
that'll be their fourth manager change, and they're like us.
Yeah, they're getting like you for real. It's not good. But I just like you look at the fixture list. Who are they going to beat?
Right.
You know, like it's so. They survived on the last day with the last goal, last kick of the ball to survive last season. And they're barely scoring goals this season. This is the first 2 goals they've scored in the league. They got this guy, Beto. Ooh. I've scrolled down to the bottom. Guess who Everton play on the final day?
Y'all. They ain't going, "Oh, that might be big for you guys,
It's at the
actually."
Emirates. It's at the Emirates too, because we
You
play
might
them.
need
We play
that.
them at Goodison on our next game, and so we play them on the last day at the Emirates.
The 37th out of the week before that,
Yo,
it's a rematch of that might be a relegation game. The Everton Sheffield on 37th, 38th.
no, at Goodison. Yep, there it is.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
So imagine if
Spicy.
Arsenal win the title and put Everton down at the same time.
Or here you go. Arsenal don't need the game to win the title, so they let Everton stay. That's how it's going down.
That's the script writers. Yeah, that's how the script's gonna go. A shock result
Not
in the
result.
end of the season.
Or City are 4 points out. There's no
Yeah,
reason
there's
to
no
win.
way to win.
So yep,
Oh my goodness.
calling
Yeah.
it.
Can't let the History FC go down. Wouldn't dream
No,
of doing it.
dream of doing it.
Yeah. Well,
But
there you have it.
yeah,
One more game actually at the G Tech. The Bees
bees.
and the Cherries. Except Brentford were wearing a dark blue and yellow kit. Yeah, it was weird. I did not know that they had that one in the locker. This was another really interesting game that went back and forth, and I did not expect Bournemouth to be as good as they were. They really brought it. Solanke took his goal, that first goal. He took his goal really well. I think he's very important for their team. Definitely going to be big moving forward as well. A lot of people picked Bournemouth in the beginning to go down, to not be as good as they've been. And I think that's probably because the coach is a bit of an unknown quantity
Yeah.
to a lot of Premier League fans. But I think Brentford will be disappointed with this. They've been tough this season, but you can tell, and I know this is easy to say, but Tony's influence gave him just that bit more.
Yeah, he's the X factor, man.
Just a little bit more, and that's kind of what they've been missing.
Yep.
With these results. And this game was entertaining for sure. Very tough battle. The first goal was really interesting from Matthias Jensen. Takes the free kick and the ball goes in, but the goalie makes the save in the goal and throws it back out. And the referee's watch, where the goal line technology is supposed to be, was broken. So he's running back, looking at his watch, looking at the play, looking at his watch, looking at the, going back and forth. He's behind the play. Bournemouth are on the counterattack. Bournemouth are in on goal, and he blows the whistle. Oh, it's a goal because the other guy, the fourth official, is in his ear telling him, my watch went off. That's a goal.
Yeah.
It's over the line, and Bournemouth are on the counterattack, and they're like, nope, that's a Brentford goal. But no, they got it right. They got this one right when they went back and showed it. Clearly, it's a foot over the line. Definitely a good goal. Brentford had to battle. Brentford had to battle back, man. They almost gave this one away, and Mbomo rescued them in the 93rd minute. But they'll be disappointed to even be in that situation. I think even Brentford were surprised that Bournemouth brought it like they did. Bournemouth didn't even have. It's another one of those things, right? Bournemouth didn't have as much possession. They sat back a little bit, and you wouldn't. You just don't expect Bournemouth to be deadly on the counter, but they look dangerous.
Yeah.
They look good. They who was it? They brought somebody new in and sent Jaden Anthony away in return. Who was that? I can't remember who it was. I just heard about that today. It was a weird one. But so they did some business right at the end. I think Brentford are probably gonna be about the same, to be honest with you. They should have won this game though. I think they'll improve, and if they can manage to hang on to Tony, That'd be huge because
Be big.
Arsenal are lurking.
I think a couple
Arsenal
people
are
probably
lurking.
lurking.
Yeah. But credit Bournemouth, man, for sure. Credit goes to Bournemouth for getting this show. It's a good draw for them, good result for them. I think that they're going to stay up 15th, 14th, 15th, somewhere in there. It may be other teams are worse,
right?
Kind of thing. But I think Bournemouth are going to be just fine. Kind of settling in to the Premier League as a team that's been around for a while. Gonna hope, they're hoping at least that they're gonna stay a while.
They'll stay a while.
Yeah. Brentford's the same. I think Brentford will be here for a while as well,
Brentford will
finishing
be
10th,
fine.
11th place.
They'll be fine.
But Mbomo, man of the match. Wissa is doing really well as well, having a good season. So yeah.
I like Wissa.
Not the result Brentford wanted, but a lot of positives to take, and I think they're definitely going to be just fine. Well, if I'm not mistaken, that right there is all of the games
wrap up,
for match week 4. It was definitely an exciting one. Goals, and more goals. And we're moving into the international break. I think that either on Thursday or maybe on Monday, we will be doing the final of the Summer Bracket Challenge. We got to get the bracket challenge. We got to finish this bracket challenge before it finishes us. You know what I'm saying, man?
Well, this last one's so hard. So.
Yeah, we want to give it its time.
Give it its time to cook.
If you want to find out the rest of the videos, definitely check it out in the playlist. There's a playlist here on YouTube with all of those videos. All of the brackets are on Instagram. And so you can follow along on how the bracket played out down to the final. I won't reveal who's in the final right now, even though you may have already guessed. But the predictions table for the Cup Chasers is also on Instagram. It's a pretty tight one at the moment. I'm on 48 and you sir are on 40, and that's the gap. Patrick and Xavier are in between us. So that's the gap there in the predictions league. Pretty close one so far. No one's really distanced themselves.
Yeah, not bad. That's a week away. Yeah, you can get that.
I got one this week. I got the Arsenal game.
Yeah.
And dude, it was so funny when Jesus goes through. Vieira sends Jesus through. I stand up and I scream at the top of my lungs, "Come on, eyebrows! Give me my 3-1!"
Oh man!
I was so pumped, man.
Parlay on it, yeah, absolutely.
Oh yeah, like that. I was celebrating like I'd won the cup.
Yeah.
Diogo Dallo is still sliding out the M5, and I'm screaming at the top of my lungs. Oh my goodness, man! Have you seen the memes that they've made on him? Did you? I posted one in the chat. Where they've got like some music behind him, and he's just sliding into all kinds of different, sliding through the galaxy. Oh my goodness!
I mean, man, really committed. Like,
oh yeah, dude.
Yeah.
You could see it. Go watch the replay. The ball's in the back of the net. He's still sliding, and he puts his face into the grass as he's still sliding backwards. Oh my god, I loved it. I'm all about it. It was definitely an amazing weekend in the league. Arsenal get the win, and we march on. We got the international break, so we'll definitely be back real soon, whether it's Thursday or whether it's Monday. Go ahead and like the video if you've enjoyed it. I know we have. If you're new, subscribe to the channel. Thanks for being here. Thanks for listening. We are on our way to 100 subscribers, so go ahead and hit that button. Get the notification bell on so you know when the bracket challenge finishes up. And, of course, we'll be back next week for the previews of match week 5. Like I say, thanks for being here again. Thanks for listening. Hope you've had a good night. I know we have. And we will see you later.